Next on the Black and Orange channel, Next on Black and Orange Tarot and Astrology, Autumn answers your questions about the United States Paleozoic era with the longest election cycles in the history of mankind.
Hello, welcome to the Daily Political Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I am here with you every single day of the year to take your political questions out of the chat. Just leave your questions in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who have kept us safe for years, and we have got a fantastic community because you have been so kind to each other and so kind to me. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on a higher speed, whatever works best for you. So, hello. All right. I've got lots of questions, lots of your questions, and some news. And as I'm just making sure I have all the questions right here, which I believe I do. I am, okay, good. Looks like everything's organized. So I just wanted to say one thing up front before we jump right into the questions, which is I am living through this, this terrible dumpster fire of an administration with you. And I want to be able to share happier news. I really do, but I don't make the news, and we're trying to figure out, find our way to make it through everything that's happening. So I know it can be a little. I'm getting some people who are venting their frustrations about how negative the news is. It's like, well, dumpster fire. The king of the bog of eternal stench is the president of the United States. I don't know what to. I cannot change that on my own. I need your help. I'm just speaking out against it every day, and we're here to go over the news together. So it's news with friends. Yeah, thank you. So I just want to let you know, we are going to get through this, and we're going to get through it together. So, all right, let's jump in. Oh, I'm glad you guys like the colors. And Sarah makes fun of me sometimes because of the, she teases me sometimes because I occasionally lean into the 70s colors. I'm like 10 years older than she is. So anyway, all right, let's jump in. Right after, or just a little while after I left you yesterday. So yesterday afternoon, guess what the DOJ released? The Epstein file. No, I'm kidding. Of course I'm kidding. They released the discussion that Todd Blanche had with the Ghislaine Maxwell. And it was, I thought about coming on in character this morning, but I couldn't do it because she turns my stomach. But it's something to the effect of, because she's got this very posh English accent, even though she's French. You know. Oh, no. Donald Trump, he's delightful. He's just wonderful, with tears in my eyes. But sir, oh, he never did anything wrong in his entire life. And he is 6'7" tall and weighs 200 pounds, and he's a perfect specimen of man who looks like Clark Kent on a good day. And I never saw him do anything. And of course, there isn't a list. And she isn't even a good liar. It was as fake as a $3 bill. It was phony from top to bottom. It was just how I guess she had to deal with people who were that naive, that young and inexperienced, because any adult with half a brain would have had the, as the kids would say, would have the major ick. Did she? Yes, she is a lying snake. Yeah, Tammy, they didn't release anything, really. Mm-mm. No, everything. And then, of course, the questions were all, was Donald Trump involved? Oh, no, of course not. Is there a list? Oh, of course, no. Of course not. Of course, there's not a list. I'm not going to say anything bad about the man who could give me a pardon. Oh, he's delightful. He's wonderful. He's glorious. I'm so glad that he's on this planet bringing this, that he is breathing the same oxygen that we are. Oh, joy. Nobody's buying this. Nobody's buying this. This is garbage. But I made TJ laugh, so I've had a good day. Grace, yes, and he smells lovely. Yes, always just lovely. There isn't a spoonful of sugar that can make that medicine go down. Just sit down, lady. Did you ever see Donald Trump do anything, get a massage or do anything untoward with minors around Epstein? Oh no, of course. Oh no, nothing like that ever. Nice try at the temperance card, but I kid you not, center card, devil. Yeah. Devil. Working. Nine of Wands. Oh, she doesn't like being in prison, even if it is club fed and you can do yoga and you can walk around. But she's incarcerated. Her. Devil. And the plan. By the way, there's offhand chat comment by DOJ Blanche raises a red flag about the interview. Blanche admitted he spoke with Maxwell for a few minutes before recording. Prompting questions about why Trump's lawyer turned deputy AG would meet privately with her before the official interview. It's a whittle mystery. Justice. I don't think this is going to go as well as she thinks. And unless it's Judge Cannon or someone who is just who is in Florida, so wouldn't be involved. But unless it was some incredibly right-wing judge, all you'd have to do is play that. You'd have to just play that interview, because I don't think there's a judge around who would say, "Oh, yes, I'm sure she sounds like she's being truthful." Not even a little. Yeah, this. I was getting cards before that she would be moved to better, nicer digs, but her astrology for the next couple of years is really bad. So, ex-FBI official McCabe says Maxwell's DOJ interview looked staged. No. Maxwell spoke glowingly of Trump without being asked. There were no line agents present, and the tapes were released. Like that. They were asked for. The files going to Congress? Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can. I don't know. Where are they? I don't know where he stored them. I don't know. I can't really send them the Epstein files. Oh, the Maxwell tape? Oh, yeah, sure. Here. Go ahead. was that? Kathy said, bad astrology? How nice. Maxwell praised Trump as, quote, cordial and kind. I've always found him to be cordial and kind. Ugh. Ugh. Bernie says MAGA's falling for hook, line, and sinker. Yes, but there are some rumblings. Those who want to believe it are believing it. But I understand what you're saying. I'm not going against what you're saying. I'm just running through my head. And there's a question later about how there are MAGA people turning against Trump, people who supported him. And I know it's a lot of anecdotal stuff, but there are multiple people who work in construction who say they've been keeping their mouths shut for years because, they want to keep their job. And it's, you hear a lot of people saying over the years, you hear a lot of construction workers saying a lot of nice things about Trump. And not only are these blue dot construction workers, multiple, saying that they're not hearing the rah Trump stuff anymore. They're hearing some people swearing about Trump, not in a good way, because of the prices, because of the job situation, the building, the construction situation. So, black. Anyway, then this let me. Okay, my energy's already onto this next question, and we're gonna kind of veer just slightly back, like a. I'm like giving you directions in a car. Go forward for 5 minutes, then veer slightly to the right, circle back. We'll look at MAGA potentially buying this. Is MAGA buying it? Is MAGA buying it? We'll get to that. But first, at 13. The Ghislaine Maxwell drops bombshell claim. Okay, seriously, who believes this woman? Who believes anything she says? Ghislaine Maxwell drops bombshell claim. Maxwell testified that Epstein may have been set up on a date with Princess Diana in London. Oh, really? And she guessed the event was in the early 2000s. Yeah. And those of you who are good at have a good memory for dates and that kind of thing, I just want to point out that Princess Diana died in 1997. Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. I love the next line. She praised Trump in the same interview and was moved to a minimum security prison. I think that sums it up pretty well. It says when Diana was 12. Unbelievable. Miss Gibson is asking, is anybody getting tired of them lying to us? Oh, I believe I have. Yeah, I've got your question about that at the end. Oh, I'm glad you like the cheerful colors. I thought we could use it. And of course, my 1950s into 1960s font and Anyway, it makes me happy. All right. You gotta be kidding me. Lanat's asking, this is about Ghislaine. Oh, yeah. Hello, Lanat. Yeah. Ugh. Please. I don't even know why. Why am I even pulling cards on this? No. Okay, was there a point in the 90s where Princess Diana was having real trouble? Yes. But Jeffrey Epstein? No. No. What the? Night Moon Glow says sage and lemongrass bulk. Yes. This is, thank you, Melissa. This is bonkers banana pants. She's a liar. Lady, sit down. Look, I realize that people in foreign countries, when they if they learn English, that you speak English based on the accent of where you've learned to speak it. Fair enough, even if you weren't born in that country. I know a number of people have been talking a lot about a Korean K-pop band called Stray Kids, and two of the members are from Australia. And they speak with Australian accents when they speak English. I understand that. But I don't know. It just, of all the accents, Ghislaine chose. She's got the most obnoxious, posh, British, better than thou accent. Uh-huh. Look, I was never an ambassador's kid, but at one point I was fortunate enough to actually be around, very, the kids of very wealthy, successful British people. And let me tell you, their accent was not as obnoxious as hers is. Seriously. Anyway. Jennifer Parr, looking down her nose, British accent. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so MAGA, hey, hi MAGA. You buying this on sale? 1810. Lord knows you have to buy everything else on sale right now, like the rest of us. Burnishing an accent to impress. Yes, and an accent to signal that she is above. Yes, Sharon. I'm not going to repeat it, Sharon Rice, but yes, that has been reported before. Cosmic Goat Lady saying fake accent to sound cultured and innocent. Yeah. Well, cultured and moneyed. To be moneyed, to be part of the elite. Yeah. So, MAGA, hey, hi. Really? Really? You're going to fall for this? You were born last night. Yeah? Okay. You were born at night, and it was last night. Okay. Jane Lambert, worse than Hugh Grant? If have a listen, even briefly, to her voice, to even a part of the interview with her. Listen to her accent. Listen to the way she talks, and she talks the whole time. She talks about Trump, and she talks about all of this. Phony as a $3 bill. I'm serious. The whole thing. Ms. Gibson, thank you so much. Thank you for being here every day. You make me laugh. Grateful for everything I do have. I wish I could give you. Oh no, Ms. Gibson, you help me every day. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Jennifer Parr, very la, tea, and da. Fruits of labor. All right. MAGA. For energy. Back at MAGA. You buying this on sale? You know, you don't have the kind of money that would make any of Trump or his ilk care that you exist. You know that, right? You may hate us Democrats. You may despise us. I understand. But I hope you understand that we don't live off of you the way they do. We are not so completely blind to your needs like they are. You can try to tell yourself, you can try to believe all the stupid lies about we only care about foreign immigrants and to get them to vote. That's a bunch of hogwash. We're Americans, and we want you to have affordable health care like us. I don't know why. Yeah, fruits of labor. Government. Justice. Well, that's what you voted for. You wanted them to go after the people that you hate. And, Jaguars faces. You joined the Jaguar eating faces party, and the Jaguars are eating your face. Surprise. Temperance. Judgment. There's some cooling off. I haven't seen this before. Not like this. And this is Major Arcana. There's only one card here that isn't Major Arcana, and it's this person in the middle who feels like they are a day late and a dollar short, and that there are these bigger forces acting, and they are feeling like they have less power. Obviously not all MAGA, but yeah, there's some change there. Good. We are not your enemy. And no, it wouldn't be better to be Russian than a Democrat. Just go ask that family who got sucked into that nonsense and moved to Russia. Can't ask the father. They sent him to the front. Jeez. All right, so at 23:15, and thank you for going through the news here with me. 23:20. A University of Massachusetts poll found that 70% of Americans, 70, including 43% of Republicans, say Trump is mishandling the Epstein files. 70% of Americans, 70%, say he's mishandling the files. You think? You mean like the classified files at Mar-a-Lago, or never mind. Among the 2024 Trump voters, 26% said they would not vote for him again. You decide that now? Okay, sure. All right, we'll take it. Okay, so is this undermining really? Phew. Burns says, vote for me, I'll have the Epstein files released. Fool me once. Yeah. Oh, true. Absolutely, Tammy. Her interview is not the files. M. Kelby says, you mean the files in the bathroom? Yeah. That's what John Bolton must have done wrong. He wasn't storing them properly where anybody could have access to them. If he had any. I don't care. I worry more about Duke than I do about Bolton. There's some angry people. I'm trying to look at his support, and it's one thing to blame the Democrats, to blame those people who you think are misusing public funds or are giving too much to a narrow slice of humanity. And so you want to go after them. But even Powell's talking about lowering the rates because people are so worried about stagflation, which is low unemployment and rising costs. Rising inflation and less employment. And there are some, I do run across, I'm not going to lie, there are a handful of articles or news reports I run across that I could read on, but I just don't, because we know what's going to happen. We know that the prices are going up. We know that they're well, the other day I probably read on it, but things like the Rubio posting about revoking visas for truckers who aren't American citizens. That's going to drive up prices. I mean, I did read on that the other day. I am so tripping over my words. I did read on that the other day, but there are other things that keep coming up that are sort of like that, where it's like, why well, I read on it. Yeah, unemployment is bad. It can see people who feel like they've been faithful to Republicans, to Trump, and now their parents can't stay in nursing homes. Their parents are getting kicked out of nursing homes. Prices are going through the roof. Their kids aren't having grandkids. And have to move home with them because nobody can afford. Well, the average person can't afford to live on their own. So they may despise us, and they get angry to see us happy because there's a lot of anger underneath that type of thinking. But he's crooked. And there reaches a point where this isn't as important. Sorry, this holding, this sticking it to the libs is not as important as the situation that they're in. So Arsino says it's been really hard. Yes. Julie says lowering interest rates is a double-edged sword. The rich will just buy up. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me scroll back up. The rich will just buy up more and price gouge more. Those struggling aren't in a position to buy a car or a house. Rent gouging makes homelessness. Yeah. Exactly. Absolutely. And you have to remember that the ultra rich, they live on loans For those of you who aren't aware or have not heard about this, actually, I'll just have a look at 3005. The rich live on loans, just to make a note. They have so much money that what they do, rather than take any kind of income from their investments and all of this, what they do is they go to the bank and they say, hey, I've got all this money sitting here. I want a loan. And the bank is like, okay, it's low risk for them. And so these people get loans. And because they're getting loans, they're not paying taxes on that money. And their principal is continuing to rise in value. And they spend huge chunks of their lives finding new things, new places to invest their money. And they hire people whose full-time job is to find places to invest their money and make them more. So the percentage that they're paying on money that they've loaned to live on, they're making more money than that with their original interest. They're not paying taxes. And then those loans just continue on. And generally speaking, a lot of those loans only become due when the person dies. And because everything's in a trust. I mean, the bank's going to get something out of it, but yeah, Amy says they hire people who are geniuses at figuring out how to pay no taxes. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Oh, Arsino, I'm so sorry. Oh, the kitty. TJ says, meanwhile, people are homeless. Yes. Nightwind Glow says, Trust LLC. Yes, exactly. And so that's one of the reasons why Trump wants the interest rates to come down. Also, people don't seem to be paying much attention to the fact that Trump came out with a book with Richard Kiyosaki. I think it's Saki. I can't. Anyway, the rich dad, poor dad guy, who his whole thing, his whole shtick is about how his biological father, his actual father, was like a professor or something, and had all kinds of turmoil, money-wise and career-wise. But his best friend's father was a business owner and was always buying assets and all these things that would constantly make money for him. And so that's what he called his rich dad and his poor dad. Can you imagine how insulting that is to your own father? You're calling your best friend's father a rich dad, poor dad. It's like you're implying like he's your dad and you're being called the poor dad. And he wrote a book. Okay, and the thing is that he's in real estate as well. People in that industry, they live off of debt. And if you go and read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books, and there are many, but if you read them, it's all about getting money from the banks that you can invest, preferably in certain things like real estate where you get massive tax advantages. So yeah, Trump wants the interest rates to go down. His rich buddies want the interest rates to go down. And people say, oh, well, they don't, do they not care about the homeless? No. It just frustrates me when people say that, because it's like, okay, we'll go through it again. They don't care about you. You are the poor dad. You are even his own father, who's just dismissed because he doesn't have money. Raymond says, I loathe Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Robert is supposedly a slumlord. So is Kushner. Supposedly, allegedly. Yeah, they're slumlords. They don't care about you. And Melissa says they want the homeless gone. Right. Like, I don't know. Let's see. What could they do with the homeless? Let me think. I guess maybe they could concentrate them in one place, and come up with some kind of, I don't know, solution. Oh, thank you, Claude. Gifted 5 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Ms. Gibson, big hug. Yeah, Grace, for free labor. Yeah. Yep. And then the burden falls on those who are actually paying taxes and who are actually trying to help people around them. But the high and mighty. Look, I believe in capitalism, but not laissez-faire capitalism, and not oligarchy. Seriously, just go back. Okay, these people, they're Reagan was a god. Okay, here, how about this? Republicans. Let's go back to the tax policies of Reagan. I'm willing to meet you halfway. Go back, right? We'll change everything right now and go back to the tax policies of Reagan. They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't. Because the rich had to pay some tax. Ideas in the flow. Thank you. Who's going to buy your stuff when no one has any money? Exactly. Grace says, I hate Reagan then and now. Oh, I'm not saying. Please do not misunderstand me. And yes, Bernie, trickle down the economics never worked. But Barnes says, I prefer the tax policies of Eisenhower. Yeah. Exactly. I mean, when, you go back to the great economics, they talk about, going back to like the 50s or early 60s, and that's how the country should be. And I've been, as I've mentioned many times, I've been working my way through the old Perry Mason episodes. And one of the reasons I really like them is because they are set back in the late 50s, early 60s. And I'm just looking at the way the society has shifted and what the focus was and the different fashions and all of this. I find it fascinating. And I just find Richard Burr very comforting. Raymond Burr, sorry. We're talking about Richard. Anyway. It's like, oh, okay, then let's go back to then. Because CEOs may have made 40 times, heck, 400 times what the average person working at their company was making. But that was nothing compared to what these oligarchs are making, compared to what the people working for them are making. And not paying them enough, so they have to use public resources, which only they're paying into. And we'll get to the lovely communist move that Trump just did. So, all right. Oh, I'm sorry, Chris. Nightmoon Glow. Oh, Melissa gifted 10 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. I'm not, I don't, okay, make this perfectly clear. I don't like Reagan. That's not my point. Just so you know. Nightman Glue says, as Sebastian has the Housewives Tarot deck in hand. I have that deck. It's so appropriate right now. I'm glad you think so. I thought so. All right. Yeah, you can't really have a class system when there's only 2 classes. It's not really a system. Anyway. This is the MAGA. These are the cult members in financial straits. The dynasty, the rich getting richer. Oh, look, I'm putting my plate of money on the wall with the picture of my mansion. And they stay, their plan, this is the plan. They stay in their rarefied world up here. So, yep. Okie dokie. Hello, Vera. Well, yeah. Okay. So at 4110, I want to ask one more economic question, and then we'll go on to some other and I'll specifically tell you in just a minute about President Blunderdum just did what communists do. Okay, anyway. So at 41, let's say 30, major furniture retailers see stocks plummet after Trump's tariff warning. Wayfair sank 6.2%, RH dropped 7.5%, Williams-Sonoma fell 5.6%. After Dumpy, President Blunderdum announced new tariffs on imported furniture. Lazy Boy and Ethan Allen, which manufacture in North America, rose instead. Yeah, near this were some other articles about other retailers going out of business. So, retailers. I mean, these are the kind of backbone businesses. It's pretty simple. It's one heck of a burden on them. If you'd voted for the woman, just saying. Instead, you voted for this guy who is a con man and is carving everything up for him and his rich jerks. I'd like to point out once again that Marjorie Trader Greene has made approximately $22 million in the time she's been in office. Do you know how much good any one of us could do with $22 million? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Julie says, I thought tariffs were in place. Ugh, the instant coffee I buy didn't go up in price yet. Good. I bought 4 jars yesterday. I feel like I'm broke buying ahead. Well, it's better to maybe feel that way now than actually, run out later. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have a lot of luck with coupons either. But one thing, okay, I do want to point out 2 things, and this is important. At 45 minutes in, Okay, a little bit of, I want to make sure that I put this in here. Two things. One, I've shown this before, but I want to show it again. I even made a graphic for it, if I can find it. I think it's this one. There. If you are in the US and you need some help, do go to this website. It's free, and it depends on what comes up. It's going to be based on kind of where you are, but this is a resource, one of the resources for finding if you need help with food, you need help with housing, or you're just trying to find any resources in your area. So it can't hurt. It can't hurt to go there and just put your zip code in. So I just want to make sure you're aware of it, and you can share it with other people. So there is that. The other thing I wanted to point out. There we go. The other thing I wanted to point out is when I'm online, and there have been a couple of services I needed to buy online, and before I did that, I actually went to ChatGPT, which you can use for free, and I asked for coupon codes or discount codes. I do that a lot, even when it seems like, oh, come on, there's not going to be anything. And sometimes there isn't. But there was a service I needed to buy online, and gosh, it saved me a good $65. It was something expensive, but it saved me a chunk of money. So do just ask ChatGPT for discount codes or coupon codes. Let it do the searching for you. So just want to throw that out there. And give it a whirl. Sometimes it doesn't work, but give it a whirl. Kelly says that's worth it. Okay. Oh, I'm glad. Burns says good advice. The coupon codes using ChatGPT. Good. Mr. Gibson says I did the coupons all the time. I get emails all the time. Yeah, it's hard to find good coupons though. Nightman Glow says I need coffee. I stocked up a bit. Mine has doubled in price. Oh, sorry. Teresa says that's a great use of ChatGPT. I had no idea. Okay, good. Yeah, the potentially increasing rates in electric and water. Yeah. Denise says have it read you warranties too. Could save you there. There we go. Okay. Arseno saying I remember when I used to cut coupons from the newspapers back in the day. Oh, okay. Yep, Sarah was a huge couponer at one point. It was just before I met her. So it was in the first decade of the century, in the 2000s. And she did the whole system. And then she was paying for haircuts for her family and everything, barter system. And she'd like walk the hairdresser out to her trunk and like pop the trunk, and it would be like Tide and Charmin and all this stuff. And it would be like, oh, okay, sure, bring them all in. I'll cut their hair. So, all right. I did want to also share with you a little bit of it was so sweet. It just got to me. Yesterday, where is it? It was Robert and Miss Galen were so kind. They were in Shreveport, and they went to the Geeks convention and paid the entrance fee and walked around to find Sarah. And it turns out she's on the second floor. So you just have to go to the second floor. But she's there. And they specifically went to go, meet her. Thank you so much. She is the best human being, and that is above and beyond to Robert and to Miss Galen. Thank you for going to see Miss Sarah. So she's there today and tomorrow, and so, and everything at her stall, she all the stuff on the tables and the displays she made herself over months. So if you're at Geeked Con, she's also please go. You can go meet Miss Sarah. And she's seeing really cool stuff, the costumes, and there was one guy dressed up as the Mandalorian with the voice modulator, and it's impressive. So anyway, and they're all kind of celebrities and stuff. All right. Amy's asking, will Sarah set up an Etsy shop? She may. So if you happen to be in Shreveport this weekend, there's Geeked Con, GEEK ' Con. She's on the second floor. All right. Giovanni's asking, how did we meet? We on Facebook, actually. We just kept ending up in the same groups, similar interests. So we just ended up running across each other and over and over. And I was like, I want to be friends with her. And her Aquarian nature, she was just like, people. But then she just, when I was at my darkest, she was just calling me every day. Okay, what are we doing today? What productive thing? You can do it. If you need to rest, that's okay. But then we're gonna do something today, right? We're gonna do something together, and we're gonna have better days ahead. She's amazing. Okay. Tishy says, I recommend eBay. Etsy can be expensive. Okay. Thank you. All right. Byrne says, meet and greet with Sarah. And you don't have to pay $50 for a picture. Sandra Lee, thank you. I hope Sarah's sales go well. I do too. Melissa says, it's the people who make you shine when you are at your darkest who are real. Yes. Teresa says, godsend. Yes, Sarah is a godsend. She is the nicest human being you will ever meet. And I am hashtag Team Sarah for life. So anyway, okay. I'm gonna get more emotional if I keep talking. All right, hey, okay, 50. But don't forget the coupon codes. If you're buying anything online, just ask Chat. The worst it can say is I don't have anything, or it has a couple of codes and they're old or something. That's the worst that can happen. So give that a whirl. All right, so this, apparently MAGA at 54. Okay. Apparently MAGA is not too happy right now. Oh. Because what Donald Trump just did is exactly what authoritarians do. Because here's the thing. And this will be backwards for you, or I'll just turn in my chair. You're at the center. You have people who are in the center politically. And then you have people who are on the left, and you have people who are on the right. Right? And you have centrists. Okay, so we're on the same page here? Okay. Then you have people who are at the extreme left. You have people who are at the extreme right. Okay? Because the reality is, when you get to the really extreme left and really extreme right, they actually end up in the same place. It's a fascism and a communism are both oligarchy. They're both oligarchy. Ta-da! I'm sorry, Burns says, ouch, my brain. I'm sorry. Of course, I could see that. Well, that's my little thing I use to try to explain it to people. Trump has been called out after a big move. Trump announced the U.S. government is buying a 10% stake in Intel. Not, intelligence, spycraft. No, the company, Intel. Making Washington its biggest shareholder. Even the conservatives are blasting the move as state capitalism and literally communism. Because if you go far enough to the right or the left, you end up in the same place. Wake up, MAGA. Wakey, wakey. Democrats, we are not your enemy. We're really, really not. Ms. Gibson says, what the heck with taxpayer money? Burns says, we're communists. Ta-da! They're gonna say they're just to the right of that. Don't be in his part. They're gonna say, oh no, we're just MAGA. We're just MAGA. We're not at that full extent where there's no difference between the far left and the far right. They're gonna say, oh no. The difference is negligible. Traveling Tarot says he was trying to get the CEO fired, and they gave him 10% of the company instead. And my head's on fire. Thank you for telling us. Thank you. Tiva says, anarchist libertarianism. It's not. That's not as far right as MAGA. I would argue anarchist. What was it? Anarchist libertarianism. I would honestly say that isn't as far right as MAGA is. We could argue about this. Marie Sutton says, I read somewhere 2 days ago that Dumpy bought $100 million in U.S. bonds. Really? Cosmic Goat Lady says, who benefits with the dividends? Don't know. Nettie says, you just did an oxymoron. Well, libertarianism is there's a quality of there. It's a Venn diagram. There is. Anyway, I'm going to walk away from this now because my brain's in 18 different places and I'm probably not making any sense. Most says China's been dumping the bonds. Oh, so you think they're, I mean, 100 million actually isn't that much considering the size of our debt. But I wonder if they're contemplating trying to buy up some of that to hide the amount of debt. But I don't know. That doesn't seem like much. Anyway. All right. strength of the oligarchs. But we are not going quietly. We are not rolling over and saying, oh, sure, just take away everybody's rights so that only the rich have rights. No, we're not doing that. No. Five of Wands, trying to stir things up. Ending. We are in Pluto and Aquarius, and we will be until the early 40s. Will there be push and pull between like the oligarchs and the people? Yes. You have to remember, Aquarius is also a fixed sign. It's one of the 4 fixed signs. Timestamp. Yeah, I blew it. Oh no, 5405. That was it. Thank you. I just haven't hit save yet. Thank you. But this is. But we are going to get through this, and the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, the American Revolution had already started. It had started a year and a half, 2 years before Pluto went into Aquarius. But the bulk of the American Revolution took place during Pluto and Aquarius, and then all of the French Revolution took place during Pluto and Aquarius. As Pluto hit Aquarius and started digging that up and kicking up all of this Aquarian energy, which is about revolution. It's about, well, basically what it is it's about community. It's about giving equally to each. It's not about kings. It's very much anti-kings and that sort of thing. It's opposite Leo. That tells you anything. The sign of kings. And it's over here going, what? But because it's a fixed sign, in every quadrant in the zodiac, the one in the middle of each quadrant, those are the fixed signs. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius. You get fixed into your beliefs. And that's why you get revolution in Aquarius. Because you're fighting back against that class system power at the top that gets especially emphasized in the sign before Aquarius, which is Capricorn. It's a fixed sign, and these people don't want to give up power. And the community, the multitude down here are like, oh, we're not playing this game anymore. That's where you get clashes. So we're in the middle of this. And let me tell you, is it going to be all smooth sailing and everything's going to be just hunky-dory? No. But they are on the wrong side of not only history, they are on the wrong side of astrology. So yeah, when we leave Pluto and Aquarius, like every sign, when we get near the end of it, it will be like, oh, thank heavens. But by that point, we're not going to be in an oligarchy or an authoritarian system. No. Nice try. All right. That is going to do it for me for today. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for contributing to everything, the chat, and being so kind to each other. All right. It is 1:06 p.m. here in Chicago. I started on time. I'm working really hard. I'm starting really early in the morning. So anyway, it's 1:06 p.m. here in Chicago, and at 3 o'clock I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. Sarah, again, is at the convention this weekend. Oh, Diva, thank you so much. Thank you. It really helps the channel. It really helps. Let's return to Reagan's tax rates and his immigration policy. He championed open borders on both sides, no border wall, and granted 3 million immigrants amnesty. Ding, ding, ding. Let's do that. All right. Please hang in there. You're not alone. We are in this together. There are good days ahead. And there's always this community here. I'm here literally every single day of the year, and I have been for over 5.5 years. Every day, weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday, I'm here with you. And the community's here. All right? So we're always here. And if you need somewhere to go in a couple hours, you can always come over to Creative Sprints. We'll just encourage you. We don't talk about politics, but we'll just encourage you on whatever it is you want to accomplish. And then I'll be right back here tomorrow. All right? So hang in there. And I'll talk to you later. All right?